To speak while women write, while women exist online, while women is dangerous. There is an online epidemic of violence against women. Don't believe me? Ask any woman who writes online, any female gamer or sports commentator, any artist or journalist, and you will find a backlog of death threat upon death threat upon rape threat upon rape threat, always rape threats. How did it come to this? To generations of terrified men hiding behind screens, muttering violent utterings, whore, slut, cunt, feminazi. Why are they so afraid of what we have to say that every time I post a new poem online, I will inevitably get the comment, shut the fuck up? To be dangerous is to speak while woman, to speak truth to power, to speak truth to power, to speak at all while woman is dangerous. Because when we decide to speak, we become dangerous women. When we decide to speak, we become dangerous to the status quo because our voices can shatter glass ceilings, because our words can tear apart silence woven shut over centuries, because for us to choose to be heard instead of just seen is still revolutionary. When I speak online about women's rights to their own bodies, terrified little men threaten to hang me from trees, to rape me out of my opinion, to force me to stay silent, to force me to shut up. To become a dangerous woman is to decide to be heard instead of just seen, is to decide that your favourite body part is not your tits or your ass or your waist, but your teeth, your tongue, your vocal cords. Is to find that the most beautiful part of yourself cannot be seen by outsider because it resides within your mind. Every time I receive a wave of online violence and abuse, I find it is the same thing. It is always from men. It is only from men, and it is never about what I'm speaking about. It is about the fact that I am speaking, that I dare to be speaking while living in this body, while this body is living in this world. The first time I received a death threat from my poetry, I was proud. I belly laughed with the joy of it. I wore it as a badge of honour. I felt it read, I am a dangerous woman. I threaten patriarchy. I make the status quo shake to its core. I am a dangerous woman. Hear me roar. The first time I received death threats online, I was proud. I had made some little man so afraid he used every word he had ever learned to shut a woman up, to silence and disbelief, to force us into quiet. Whore, slut, cunt, feminazi. The first time I received a death threat for one of my poems, I was proud. But the 10th time, the 11th, the 12th time I received a death threat for one of my poems, I was tired. I was annoyed, I was exhausted, I was furious. I am not the only woman facing this. Many women have it far worse online than I do. How many more? How many more women threatened with murder for speaking before we act up? How many more before we reclaim the internet as we reclaim our streets? How many more men and young boys socialised into misogyny behind anonymous screens? This isn't helping men either. You know that, right? I receive letters of support from men every week. Men who are exhausted and struggling and terrified of trying to live up to the expectations of being a real man. Men who are angry with the violence they see directed at women. Men who are exhausted, not knowing how to end that violence, not knowing what to do. This is not about individual men, and it's not about a few internet trolls either. This is not about all men or some men. This is about masculinity. This is about masculinity gone toxic and afraid. This is about a masculinity gone violent. This is about a system of patriarchy so afraid of what we have to say and the fact that anyone can hear us say it, that it will threaten us, that it will abuse us and harass us, that it will use the only tools it knows how. More patriarchy, more death threats, more rape threats, and you might not see it, but patriarchy is failing. patriarchy is stumbling and falling. You might not see it, but patriarchy is losing. It is its dying breath, and it's using it to deny how badly it's going. It's patriarchy's dying breath, and it intends to go out fighting, to claw its ways into the hearts of young men who are so afraid of what their role will be in a big bad world that no longer belongs to only them, but to all of us. Whore, slut, cunt, feminazi, these are words used to pin us down, to keep us quiet. But we are dangerous women when we choose to speak. To choose to speak is to realize that you are explosions in the center of the status quo. They are only looking for ways to disarm you. They are only looking for ways to silence you, to make you safe for them, to make you compliant, and they will not succeed. Because we are dangerous women, because to speak is to be a dangerous woman, and we will never shut